Hey everyone, this is another interview. Don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. I love doing those, and your support is always very important for me. Just want to apologize a little bit for that one. We had a little bit of a connection issue. Urvashi was in an hotel in Colorado. The connection was not all that great, but we did our best, and I really wanted to share it with you because I love the conversation we had. So enjoy the interview for Skin.
Ask why you decided to lighten.
Let's talk about your film, Skin. It has such a strong commentary on how accepting its own skin color and the image we project, of ourselves to the world. So how this idea came to life.
Yeah, so Skin was inspired by my own relationship with my skin tone and how I used to use skin bleaching creams when I was younger. I think especially when you're a teenager and you're brown living in the US, you're very aware of your skin color. And I think, you can find these skin bleaching creams everywhere at the Asian market down the street. So I wanted to kind of talk about that, but I think horror and sci-fi are a great way to talk about those issues without it being didactic, because it's just a fun watch and you can, people are more interested in the storyline, and then you can sort of get your messaging in there as well.
Because I was gonna ask you if that's something you encounter like yourself and or within like the Indian community, but obviously it's been the case like you just mentioned. Like as a teenager, you would use those products. But I feel like it kind of serves as a cautionary tale for both the Indian community, but also the Westerners. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the funny thing is, Indian or darker skinned people are sometimes skin bleaching, and then, white people are tanning. You're always insecure with your skin tone. And it's funny that, tanning or like darkening a white body is kind of rewarded, while a dark brown body is not. But yeah, insecurities are rampant. That's kind of universal.
Why do you think we're not able to accept who we are? Isn't that weird? Like, why do you feel we feel so uncomfortable in our own skin?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is like a feeling of the grass is always greener, and I mean, the media also is creates like these aspirational images that are genuinely impossible to achieve because well, now maybe they're using AI, but Photoshop, things like that, create these images that young women are aspiring to, but like these proportions don't exist in reality, and these looks, these skin tones don't exist in like, for example, in India, you'll get your skin Photoshop to look so pale, and then that's not what you actually look like, or these filters will make you look a certain way, and then you wonder if that's what you should be looking like. So I think it's a lot of media and technology.
Yeah, and in the movie, the main character, she goes to a skin bleaching clinic. It also, opens the discussion on beauty, the beauty industry, and the pursuit of eternal youth. Do you feel like more than ever it's an important discussion to have, and do you feel like it's affecting women a little bit more?
um yeah, I think it's definitely an important discussion to have. I think the beauty industry is getting increasingly medicalized, which is scary. The way that people are bleaching their skin is it's gone from creams to now you have glutathione shots, which are these intravenous injections which lighten your skin from the inside out. So just, the way that now you can get a nose job in 5 minutes going into a med spa that's run by not even a real doctor, and getting these medical procedures on your lunch break. The same way in skin bleaching, it's becoming increasingly medicalized, and women are spending thousands of dollars doing dangerous procedures, women and men, everyone, doing dangerous procedures, and not really thinking about the fact that it is like a serious surgical procedure.
hmm Yeah, and I think about that, and it's weird because like I don't know, I think humans are beautiful, and part of that is kind of like we have to accept our imperfections, and it's weird that we're getting like this old pressure from the old system about that. So your main actress, she's a beautiful actress, and then I feel like that's part of your casting decision. You took someone that's really pretty, and it kind of feels sad that she has to go there to feel better about herself.
Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, casting Shreya, she's a model. She is actually she models for, she just did a Nike shoot. She's an incredible, like, beautiful woman. So I think having her as the lead shows how colorism really affects everyone, and it's so silly because everyone looks at would look at her and say, you're so beautiful, but then if she has that insecurity, then she can't fight it. And it was really interesting because we had to lighten her skin tone for the scene at the end, and she had such a reaction to seeing her own skin lightened, because she's been given that note by directors in the past, especially when she was working in Indian cinema, where they said, you're too dark. So then when we had to artificially, kind of spray paint makeup on her to make her look lighter, it was really sad. It was like the whole crew was just like, this makes us feel so uncomfortable.
It's so wrong. Like, it feels wrong. Like, that's part of the message of your film. And do you think that's why it was important to have this dynamic with her sister at the beginning? Because she's in a car with her sister, and her sister completely disapprove of what she's doing. Was that crucial to, like, push the story forward? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we needed a sister. We needed sort of like a voice of reason and also the voice of the audience. And yeah, I think that's why the sister was so great. She also brings the humor, and I think kind of shows the power of being like a beauty influencer for good. You can be a beauty influencer who talks about having a natural kind of face and who can be like pro skin tone positivity. So yeah, I think she was very necessary. Yeah,
that was a good decision. And there's a slogan being used in the film, Fair and Lovely. I'm curious, what's the meaning behind that?
Yeah, so Fair and Lovely is the name of these creams that were sold in India throughout my childhood, actually up until the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, when they finally changed their name from Fair and Lovely. But the creams are still sold just under a different name. So we wanted to kind of play on the fact that everyone, if you're in South Asia, even they're sold in Africa too, you recognize that Fair and Lovely cream.
So it's a natural thing. Okay, I was curious about that because it's really like predominant in the film. So I was curious what was the meaning behind that. So yeah, once the main character, Kinika, she enters the clinic, the production design really starts to pop out. There's a like white-red clash in the office. There's those like neon pink lights in the room with the tank. So what was your approach in crafting the look of the film? Because it needed to be kind of like visually like popping out. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted the front of house to look very inviting, feminine, calming, kind of like a spa. And then as she goes to the back and is in the tank, it's this like terrifying black abyss, black void. And we wanted to also play with the dark and light in a way that the scariest moments of the film are. This was something we came up with, Catherine, the DP, and I came up with together. But the scariest moments in the film are the whitest moments. The screen is the whitest in those moments. So we kind of wanted to play with that because usually, in a horror film, the scary moments are in darkness. So yeah, that was some of our decision making. And then a lot of it, honestly, was like, we're building a tank. What can we make? What can we genuinely build? So some of it was sort of decided for us.
Yeah, and we don't often talk about obscure heroes like the gaffers, but I had to mention it. Eddie Harold Jr., your gaffer, he had a huge task on his hands, like trying to bring like all those neon lights and bring the clinic to life. Those are big, complicated sets. So what would you say about his work on the movie? Because I mean, he deserves some credit.
Yeah. Oh, Eddie's amazing. Yes, we were just chatting with him while we were at Fantasia, and he did such an incredible job. He really was like the most positive person on set, even though he had to do so much, heavy lifting. But yeah, he came every day with his truck and just made the set just like such a wonderful place. I highly recommend hiring him. He will make your production better.
Yeah, he seems like such a professional. I don't know. I was watching the film and I need to talk about, like, we don't talk about gaffers enough. Like, he's bringing his truck and doing like some of the heavy lifting. Of course, it's a team effort at the end of the day. So I'm also wondering what was your collaboration with your DP, Catherine, because we talk about the skin tones and it becomes very crucial to light the actors in a certain way to get your message across. So what was the collaboration like with her?
Yeah, so Catherine and I have worked together for for since film school. This is our
Oh,
fifth project together. So we kind of have a shorthand, and there's a lot of trust there that's been built over projects, and I think it allows both of us to play. And I think, yeah, Catherine has great ideas, and I love like collaborating with her. And I think on set as well, I think we're able to move pretty quickly because we both know we can just tell what the other is thinking. So yeah, it's always fun to chat with her and then kind of come up with a shot list that we know we can actually achieve, because we've done so many shot lists before. So we're like, okay, last time we had the camera in this crazy vertical position, this is what went wrong, so like this time let's not do that. And yeah, it's definitely yeah, it's been a great collaboration.
well, I guess that's why it's important to like surround yourself with people you know how to work with them, and it kind of become a natural process afterwards when you get another project, because you did Unmothered as well, I feel like 2 or 3 years ago, so that she was your DP on that film.
Well, no, so we shot that one in India and she
Okay.
wasn't able to go.
Okay.
So that's one that she wasn't able to do. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's okay. But I will, because I was doing some research and I saw that you use a Kickstarter as a source of financing for the film. So I always ask myself, like, how people manage to get a budget for their short films. I know there's a lot of production, sometimes company involved, but did you have like trouble finding financing in general for your short film, or is this like the first time you use a crowdfunding funding platform for that?
So I've used Kickstarter before,
Okay.
twice, and yeah, it's always helpful. We also had a grant from Sundance and the Asian American Foundation, and yeah, that combined was enough to make the short.
Okay, because it's a complicated process. Like you need to hire all those people, you need to find the shooting dates and everything. So I was just surprised to see that you did a Kickstarter for that. I was just curious, is it like a casual thing in the industry, or it's kind of like you need to get as much as possible, so you just go out of your way to get those resources?
Uh, I feel like, in terms of, do you mean in terms of having a Kickstarter?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
yeah.
like the norm? I think it's becoming increasingly normalized. I feel like even feature films are using Kickstarter these days, just because there's so many gatekeepers in the industry. But if you have a natural fan base, that's a great way to get your project made, because people want to see these stories that often are not being told by studios. So yeah, I think it does become increasingly normal, and I really think a lot of people are nervous to have Kickstarters because it is awkward to ask friends for money. But I think what's surprising is a lot of anonymous people will come and support the film because they just want to see diversity on screen, and the story is something that they've always wanted to see, and it's just never been made. So yeah.
Yeah, and a little quick thing I want to touch about also about the casting is more specifically the woman you cast for the one that we see in the clinic, the employees or the customer. What did you envision for what did you had in mind for those roles? Because clearly they all have like a specific type. So I'm just curious, what was your process with the casting of the women in the clinic?
The white women at the end.
Yeah. All of them, the employees or the customers at the end. Like, just curious, how did you envision that? Yeah.
Yeah, so for Mary, who is the receptionist, we wanted to cast a South Asian woman who is fair-skinned, naturally fair-skinned. Maybe hasn't used the bleaching tanks, but is like this aspirational figure that is drawing women in. And then Juniper, who's the doctor, we thought it would be really interesting if a white woman is running a skin bleaching
Hmm.
center. And then in the feature, we kind of complicate that, and you see the power. The med spa has many layers, and you keep seeing that the power keeps going higher and higher, and there's like other people who are kind of controlling the strings. And then for the white women at the end, I think it was important to show who might be interested in this sort of fountain of
Yeah.
youth. And we one of the things we talk about is how melanin prevents aging because it protects you from the sun, and how that might be of interest to an older woman who's looking to be younger. So that was part of the casting for that.
Yeah, I think that was a great decision. It kind of like put some emphasis on the message you were trying to put across. So I really appreciate the casting there. But really loved our chat. Urvashi, I'm just curious, what's next for you? Are you working on a short film, documentary, full feature-length film? What's on your mind right now?
Yeah, so we have a feature script for this, and we're excited. We're like already in talks with producers, and we're hoping to get this made, and hopefully you'll see Skin on the big screen soon.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot to explore there. Whether it's the dynamic between this, the siblings dynamic, but also everything that's going on in the clinic. Like, does it exist? I really love the part where her sister is in her car and she's like on the stream, and then there's someone says, "Is it that clinic? Don't go there." Like, I had almost chill. It's like, oh shit, you already knew something was gonna go wrong. But like that little comment there, I feel like there's a lot to explore there.
Yeah, that's all explained in the feature. We wrote the feature first before the short, so the
Okay,
short is
okay.
just a little teaser for the feature. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so I'll keep an eye out for that. Really looking forward to see what you're gonna be doing with that. Thanks for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for chatting and
Thanks. Have a
watching the
good
film.
one.